look at me. I'm Julian.
Anybody that it's got something intelligent, it's got a cool little setup, it's got an interesting personality, and it can sell an interesting conversation, theoretically can start a podcast.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And now we're rolling.
All right.
BRAYSON Bagnallson.
In the flesh.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Sunny day in Belmore.
Should we start with the movie?
Yeah, I guess like, well, it's fresh.
Do you want to begin?
Yeah. So Jules and I, we sat down. We watched Outland, 1981. Sean Connery, kicking ass on a mining station on Io, moon of Jupiter. Yeah, I did a little like Wikipedia digging while we're watching it. I haven't seen it, but it's basically like a remake of High Noon, that Western movie.
Oh, the one we just watched is?
Yeah.
A sci-fi remake.
Yeah, it's not like a direct remake, but it's like very similar. Like, dude comes into a town and there's a gang of criminals, and it's either he like takes on the criminals or he like pisses off with his wife. And yeah, he chooses to take on the criminals against all odds.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen High Noon.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, I guess what we watched, I guess it's like a space western.
$14 million budget.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They did a lot. They did a lot with $14 million.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the other thing I saw. They used a thing called Introvision for the first time on that film, which allowed them to project the actors onto the miniature sets they had.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty funny because I guess, like, pretty pioneering technique for a movie that didn't make that much of a splash. It's not like a big, huge blockbuster or anything. I mean, you know, not many people know about it. Like, you didn't know about it until... So, yeah, interesting. And it looked cool. I love the miniatures.
Yeah, Sean Connery looks good on film.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor. Like, he's got there's a reason why he's a movie star.
It's just weird seeing him in a sci-fi role, like, just like, yeah.
But he drops these lines that are just hilarious. Like, even like not intentionally hilarious, just hilarious because of the way Sean Connery acts.
What did he say to the doctor?
He said, "I'll kick your nasty ass all over this room." that probably got the biggest pop of the whole movie.
You can't say that, Sean Connery. It's 1981.
And when that guy said, "The hookers are good."
Yeah, I know your wife just left you, but you know, hey, get a bit of action while you can, mate.
I thought, like, especially at the beginning, it was nice not knowing the plot and not knowing any of the actors. That was interesting. Like, I didn't know any of the actors in that film at all until like halfway through. Me and you realized that Frank Barone is in it.
Yep. The Barone patriarch himself.
Although I wrote down in my notes Frank Romano.
Yeah, he's like the general manager of this mining station, and he looked like so fucking scraggly. Like, his hair was a mess. Like, you know, he's just big chubby dude wearing a cap all the time, shitty fucking like medium length hair.
Did nothing
except like hone his like putting game.
There was an expression in this movie that I wrote down that I really liked, that the doctor said that I had never heard. I guess it's like a screw loose. It was, most people here don't have both oars in the water. I thought that was funny. I was like, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, they really didn't touch on the psychology of being on I guess they did. The psychology of being on, you know, a really remote mining station. But, you know, all these people start, you know, killing themselves, and they're like, oh, yeah, you know, this place will do it to you, like, so matter-of-factly.
Yeah, I thought it might be like a psychological thing that was going on.
But it was amphetamines.
That's it. We got to see three. Yeah.
They didn't show us the fourth guy's head exploding.
No.
It definitely exploded. We know because, you know...
It's inferred.
When you pull the plug... I guess it would have been 5 as well, because when they had
the guy in the elevator?
Oh, no, old mate in the
The shot in the green room.
When they arrested the drug dealer, they had him in that like prison cell, and he's like in like zero gravity in the spacesuit.
Oh, is that how he died?
Yeah, they like pulled the fucking air tube out.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's real. It's a real threat, people. Don't.
Zero gravity is a real threat.
More so than the space speed and Sean Connery's shotgun. The zero grav will get you.
That's a good band name. Sean Connery's shotgun. I don't know much about like inflation, but I feel like how good the set looked for like $14 million, people making movies these days should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just the set, like however much they paid Sean Connery was included in that budget as well. So like they really made that movie on peanuts, and it looked as pretty much as good as any other sci-fi movie from that era that I can remember.
Yeah, no, like the external set designs were fantastic, like the miniatures and the matte paintings and everything. Not super realistic, but better than some like CGI kind of like hellscape you'd see in a modern sci-fi movie or like a Netflix original.
Yeah. Why is that, do you think?
Why it looks better?
Like, why do movies feel like they're 5 times as expensive these days, but twice as shit?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just
like, does it cost so much? Hence why I mentioned inflation. Does it cost so much more these days to make set pieces like that?
Yeah, maybe there's like unions as well, like
bloody unions.
Yeah.
That's why Hulk Hogan told Vince McMahon that the boys were trying to start a union. He was onto something.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know enough either. Like, it'd be interesting to see what that movie's budget, like what $14 million would equate to in today's currency. Yeah, maybe like actors are getting paid more as well. But yeah, I guess like that film Outland, we really only had Sean Connery, and then everyone else is like a B-lister.
Yeah.
So they probably saved some money on that.
I heard something crazy the other day, which I'd never really thought about, but like a lot of those Netflix movies now that they make, they're actually made with the fact that they expect people are going to be scrolling on their phones as they watch it. Like that's not all the movies, but a lot of them are made by the studios with that in mind. Like that factors into the, I don't know, like the script and the production and the technicalness of the film. And I'd never heard that before, and it kind of like, that's crazy. That's just...
It's a little depressing.
Yeah, that they're factoring that into...
How does that sort of play out? Does it mean they don't put as much effort into... They're like, well, they're not paying attention. We can just kind of play it fast and loose.
Yeah, it has that could be the only answer.
Or it's like, we're going to make it like zippier. We're going to like just edit the fuck out of this and catch people's attention just obnoxiously.
Yeah, scene, like stimulation.
I still don't understand how like Netflix works. I don't understand how they can like churn out all the TV shows and movies they do with whatever money they're getting from their like subscription revenue. Like the maths doesn't add up to me.
No, I'd have to do the maths too. But I guess like when the average person is paying between like $20 and $50 a month?
Yeah.
Is it monthly? And then if you times that by like it being global, how many people are on Netflix? I don't know, 50 million, 60 million? More?
Yeah, I'd just be throwing out numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, do they have ads now on Netflix? I think maybe it's Amazon has ads. Like you can get the cheaper version, but you get ads.
Yeah, I'd hope not. I know that the WWE just moved to Netflix like last week.
Oh yeah, true. I did actually watch a bit of I think the first Monday Night Raw, I watched a little bit of that the other night.
Yeah. And was there ads?
No.
Because I think listening to someone that was watching it on a stream, I think that like America still had ads, but the international viewers didn't. But they've got like advertising now on like the actual ring, which they never used to have, and so there's probably more advertising in the actual product itself.
Yeah, no, I do remember seeing like a fucking Fortnite logo.
Yeah,
On the
yeah. Not ideal, but yeah. Did they have movie theaters in Vietnam? Did you happen to go to the movies at all while you were there?
I didn't go to any movies while I was there, but they definitely did have them. I went to maybe 2 different like big like shopping centers, and they had like
their version of a Westfields or something.
yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, what are they called? I think they're called Go with an exclamation mark hypermarket.
I'm gonna go to the Go.
Yeah. And one of them was underground, which is really cool, with a weird like glass dome. That was in Dalat. But yeah, very much like Westfield here. Just a big multiplex cinema. And those ones were playing sort of a mix of like Vietnamese films and international films. And then I went past one in Ho Chi Minh City that was just exclusively Vietnamese films.
Were the Go's air conditioned?
Yes.
That would have been good.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was.
We'll come back around to Vietnam real quick, but one thing I wanted to mention, and I can say this now because by the time that I've done this episode, I probably will have done the one with Jake. So I've been holding this in all week, but I've started watching Prison Break because I know that Jake fucking loves Prison Break and he's watched it like 3 times. You ever see Prison Break?
Nah, I remember the ads on TV.
Yeah.
Back when TV was a thing.
So interesting watching a TV show, a popular TV show. Like I think probably when it came out, it was like the biggest drama of the era, of the early 2000s, or it was one of those, weekly, or every a few times a week on Channel 7 at 7:30, 8:30, whatever it would have been at the time. But yeah, just a trip compared to the actual TV shows that we watch now. And the reason I want to bring it up is because, and I've been chatting with Eve about this a lot, and we mentioned it this morning, and I've been doing a lot of swearing at the iPad. But the 2 main characters are the worst actors in the whole show. Like that Dominic Purcell, and I feel like the other actor's name's like William Schfinkter, something like that.
Wait, the weird like
Guy from the Mariah Carey music video.
Yeah.
He's just like, no matter the situation, he's always pulling the same face. And Link the Sink, Dominic Purcell, he just can't act, bro. Like even when he's angry and yelling, they're both terrible actors. And they were cast, like I think, just based on looks and what was, supposed to be attractive in the early 2000s. And whereas and then the best actor in the show, which is probably T-Bag and Peter Stormare's in the first season and a half as well. The worst character, the bad guy, is the best actor in the whole show. Like every scene he's in, he's just fucking amazing. He's a brilliant actor. And so you're watching this show and he's supposed to be the bad guy, but he's the only one that can act. He's the main guy that can actually act. So every scene he's in, you love because he's so good at like doing his dialogue.
He's like carrying the show basically.
Yeah, and then he'll do some dastardly shit and he'll like kill someone that doesn't deserve it. And you go, you fucking piece of shit. I hope you get what's coming to you. I can't believe it. Even the bastard like prison, the main like prison guard guy is like just a fat piece of shit scumbag, but like just a way better actor. And so there's just this weird dynamic that we're experiencing right now because there's people that you're supposed to be rooting for and other good guys can't act. And it's so obvious and it's so infuriating. And then the bad guys that you're supposed to root against are really, really great actors. And it's really, really messing with my mind. So I wanted to get that out and see if you had any like thoughts or like, I don't know. Like if you've experienced anything like that in like a movie or a TV show, you know.
I'm trying to think like back on that era of TV. Like the only thing I can think of is maybe like Lost. I think that was probably around the same era.
Yeah.
And great cast, but Matthew J. Fox is like the lead in that.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. He was pretty like one-dimensional acting-wise. Just sort of go between pulling like a concerned face or like a little like a perplexed face. And yeah, just like, you know, looks alone really. It's just a like American every guy, you know, conventionally attractive, just plonked down in this you know, cast full of far better actors.
As evidenced like by the fact that like same with Matthew J. Fox, but like also like that Dominic Purcell and whoever the main character is in Prison Break. Don't think I've seen him in anything else ever.
Damn, they just plonked him down in that one.
I'm pretty sure Matthew J. Fox is in World War Z for like probably, you know, 3 minutes, but like, other than that, like
Yeah, he pops up from time to time. Yeah, like I guess he got lucky with Lost. Like that show was huge, like massive budget, like couldn't get away from it. Like it was an actual like event every time the new season started. Like,
but I reckon that show was even carried by what was the name of the main bad guy?
Benjamin Linus. That was his.
Nah, not him. The long-haired guy, Josh. Is the actor's name Josh? He's got like the one with the blonde hair. You know who I'm talking about. Lost. What's his name? Lost. Hold on, people. Paradise Lost? No, that's not what I want to look at. Josh Holloway.
Josh Holloway.
Yeah, Sawyer.
Oh yeah,
Like even him, like he was a better actor than like he was, you know, one of those actors that like really carried the show.
Yeah, and he was like a lovable bad boy. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, all the mums were like, oh, he's so hot, like he's a bad boy.
Peter Stormare, he's a good actor.
Yeah, yeah.
I love me some Peter Stormare. So yeah, how was Vietnam?
Pretty good, to put it simply.
Can I start by asking, what was your like favorite thing about Vietnam, and what was your least favorite thing?
I guess my favorite thing about Vietnam is just how how to put it. I guess the chaos, like how it seemed like anything goes, but there was like an order to the chaos, and there was just all this stuff you couldn't do in Australia, like as simple as
Like letting your dog ride bikes?
yeah, and like smoking a cigarette wherever you wanted to, just like
Oh, that was another thing about the movie we just watched. It's like in the dining room scenes, like you could tell it was like an 80s movie because everyone, like every second person was just smoking.
it was just a haze. Yeah, just like I guess that overall, just the way the restaurants were, or like the way you just get food off the side of the street. It was really cool, and like the whole time I was there, I'm like, damn, I don't miss Sydney at all.
Could you live there? You reckon you live in a
Oh, I definitely thought about it, but I was like, no, like I think it is pretty hard for people who don't actually have any marketable skills, i.e. me, to live overseas. So there's that. And
So you need marketable skills, you think?
yeah, like a degree, something that'll let me work remotely, or yeah. I mean, there's always the teaching English. Like I met some people over there, and they're like, yeah, just like if you want to like stay over here for an extended period, teach English. And I'm like, oh, don't you need a degree? And it's this Irish fellow I was talking to who taught English over there.
Oh, gee, I don't know if we should be letting Irish people teach English to foreigners. That's crazy.
And yeah, he was like, oh no, I bought my like TESOL degree, and just sort of
Is that like a teaching thing?
yeah, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's like basically teaching English overseas. And he was like, yeah, they don't really check your credentials. They're usually happy to have you.
At schools?
Yeah, schools or like private education sort of.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to do it. Do it private.
Yeah.
Tutoring.
But yeah, I mean, it'd be fun to try and live over there. But I guess that brings me to like what I didn't like about Vietnam was just trying to walk around.
Just the heat?
No, I mean, like, the heat sucks, but like whatever. Like, it's hot in Australia. It's hot. It was hot in Thailand. No, it was just like dodging traffic, like crossing the roads. Like everyone talks about how difficult and crazy that is. That's fun. That's like playing a game of Frogger every time you want to cross the street, and like it gets to a point where you don't have to look. You can just sort of just walk, and people like sort of maneuver around you. It's more so just walking around like on the sidewalks, because more often than not they're just covered like in parked mopeds. So you end up like having to walk on the road. Like most of the time you just end up on the road, and then yeah, it's just like I don't know. You have to be aware at all times, just like basically a 360-degree scope, like listening behind you, looking in front of you, looking to the side.
Binaural.
Like, yeah, you've just got to be ready for something to happen, because it might. But at the same time, it was fun. Like it feels weird complaining about that. I'm visiting another country, and lucky to have actual sidewalks here, and walkable cities. But yeah, all in all, I love Vietnam, and I want to go back there. And yeah, I don't know, didn't miss Sydney at all.
I saw that you mentioned that like they have gun stores. I was quite surprised to hear that. Was that Vietnam or was that Thailand?
That was Thailand.
Oh,
Thailand
okay.
had the gun stores. The whole street of gun stores.
You never hear about I mean, I don't know how much we hear about Thailand news, so maybe there's a lot of it, but you never hear about Taiwanese gun violence. Just interesting. I was surprised when I heard that they had.
Yeah, I was
lots of
surprised
gun
to see
stores
it.
there.
It really popped out of nowhere, because I was just going to this shopping center to go to the pharmacy there, because it was like in walking distance from where I was staying, and it was like a big fancy looking shopping center, and I rounded the corner to go into the entrance, and there was just a gun store like on the outside of the shopping center, and then next to it another gun store, and then there was another gun store like towards the entrance of the shopping center, and then I turned around and looked on the other side of the street, and it was just gun stores like the whole way down. It was crazy. And like it was like automatic weapons and handguns, and not just like hunting rifles.
I was
and
going to
stuff.
ask, yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. I took a photo of one of the stores, because I was like watching the guy, like he was closing up the shop and he was putting all the guns back in the gun lockers, and I was just sort of standing there like gobsmacked, and he was visibly amused by me just being like, whoa. And then I like motioned with my hands like, can I take a picture? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. His face, just his amusement at me being like, whoa, guns, this is cool. Like,
He probably knew. Well, if your skin color didn't give it away, he probably knew at that moment that you were a foreigner.
yeah.
I want one of those I'd never actually want to have a gun, but like those henchman guns from the early 90s that look like submachine guns, like the smaller than normal ones.
Oh, like the Uzis and...
Yeah, it's not exactly like an Uzi. It's a little bit different to an Uzi, but it's not as big as those M16s. I'll have to figure out what the actual name of those guns are.
Maybe an MP5. They're a big like 90s henchman.
Yeah, the ones that all the bad guys had in like Under Siege 2. Those like classical, stereotypical guns there.
Quick shout out to Under Siege 2, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Great film.
Underrated.
Yeah.
An
yeah.
underrated classic. You know that wasn't originally going to be called Under Siege?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was going to be just called Dark Territory, and it wasn't until Steven Seagal got the role that they just thought, fuck it. We'll change his name to Casey Ryback and we'll call it Under Siege 2.
Oh, true. So it was just going to be a standalone film, and then
Yeah, yeah.
he's just getting into shenanigans once again.
One of the greatest decisions in the history of cinema.
Yeah, it would have just been a forgettable action film, and then you drop an honest to God action star, Steven Seagal, possibly the greatest action film star to ever walk this planet. I said it.
Wow. That's a big statement.
I don't actually mean that.
I wouldn't have thought so. Oh, and I love Steven Seagal, but maybe I wonder if they thought that at the time. Probably not, with Arnie running around.
He was really like trying, like he kind of got there,
And then he really stopped trying.
yeah.
He really did. I mean, I think a lot of those like later films, if you want to call them that, are probably just like money laundering exercises.
Yeah, yeah. To further his like diplomacy missions to Russia, his little play dates with Putin.
Playdates with Putin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Another good band name.
Very good. Read my mind. So yeah, tell us a bit more about your trip. Like, where'd you start? You started in the south and went north?
Yes, yeah. So I started in Ho Chi Minh, and I was there for about just under a week. And I saw a few cool things, did some touristy things, like went to the Coochie tunnels, fired an AK-47 there. Very cool. Sweated my ass off in the tunnel.
And they're tunnels from the Vietnam War?
Yeah. And went to a place called Monkey Island. And
Is it actually an island?
I believe so. It's like in the mangrove forest south of Ho Chi Minh City, and it's like a huge mangrove forest. It's like hundreds of square kilometers of mangroves, and there was a bridge at one point. So I'm gonna say it was an island, and there were monkeys. There were hundreds of
But not
monkeys.
like a far off island or something.
No. And there was some old like war stuff there too, but they didn't really. I mean, my guide didn't really tell me anything about that. And that was like a fun day trip on the back of a scooter. Got very, very sunburnt. So Ho Chi Minh was cool. I spent a lot of time drinking beer in Boi Vien.
Sounds French.
Yeah,
Boy Vien.
it's not. Even though like the French colonized it, I'm probably butchering the Vietnamese pronunciation, but that's like the party street, and it's just like a little bar I kept going to there. It wasn't, I say bar, but it was basically a room or a building with a toilet and like a couple of fridges, and then you just sat out in the street on like a fold-out chair, and just watching all the people walk past and seeing all the crazy like neon lights and the Vinner House, I think it's called, the popular music over there. Or it's really bouncy, obnoxious house music. Just hearing it like 4 different tracks from 4 different clubs.
Oh, cool.
And it getting progressively louder throughout the night.
Is it quite a 24-hour kind of city?
Yeah.
Kind of country, even? Like,
I'd say the cities are.
Yeah.
And there's like during the day, there'll be certain vendors either selling food or like, souvenirs or kitchenware or whatever. And then at night, it's just food vendors mostly. I stumbled back home when I was in Hanoi, probably at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and there were still some people selling things. More or less.
oh, you lost your credit card too, eh?
Yes, I did.
Was that in your first stop? Or was that a bit later?
That was my second stop.
Yeah.
I just spent like close to 10 hours on a bus trip. Lovely bus trip. I had a blast on that bus trip, but I was like happy to be at my destination.
Yeah. Was that was the bus that you slept on?
Yeah, it was a sleeper
Yeah.
bus. One of two I took. Yeah, because this was like, I think it was only meant to be like a 7-hour trip, but it just dragged on. But it was very comfortable, and going up the mountains was beautiful. But yeah, I got to the like the bus depot outside of Dalat, and yeah, a taxi driver approached me, and we like settled on a price, and then I went to go get cash out of the ATM, and got the taxi, got to my hotel, blah blah blah, and I was walking around like the streets of Dalat, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get some money out, I want to get some food, and yeah, I went to the ATM, and lo and behold, no card.
Brutal.
But yeah, it turns out it's pretty easy to set up a Western Union account. This isn't a plug, by the way, but handy tip. Yeah, I think I saved a lot of money on ATM fees just getting cash out via Western Union.
Yeah.
And you get to navigate banks in a different country and overcome that barrier. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but yeah, interesting way of going about my finances overseas.
So Dalat was the second stop?
Yes.
And where was the stop where you got that that photo on that of that famous roof?
Oh, that was in Ho Chi Minh City, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the building, but that is where they evacuated the personnel from the rooftop. Parodied in the Simpsons episode where they go to Australia. And yeah, had to bribe the security guard on the bottom floor, like 100,000 dong to go up the elevator at the top. That's a lot of dong.
Dong.
But yeah, he confirmed it was indeed the right building, and interesting to see like a fairly pivotal scene in history just as a abandoned rooftop bar. I did want to get to the very top. I did start climbing the ladder. There was like a lean-to ladder on like the I don't know what you'd call it. If you've seen the photo of the evacuation, it's like where the helicopter was kind of like landed. And I got halfway up the ladder, and this would have been about 9 or 10 stories up already. And I'm on this ladder, and I get towards the top and see the ladder isn't fastened to anything.
Oh.
And I'm not great with heights, so I was like, nah, I can definitely get up there, but I don't want to think about getting down. Like,
Who were they actually evacuating?
so I heard
It's like
that
the embassy?
it wasn't the embassy. That's like a common misconception. It was like a apartment unit where I guess like embassy workers and like military personnel were staying. But I heard that it was also the headquarters of the CIA in Vietnam. So yeah, some CIA Air America guys. Yeah, pretty interesting.
What was was there a third place you went to?
Oh
in Vietnam?
yeah. No, I went to, hang on, in total 3, 4, 5, I think 6 places.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And just like moving your way north as you're going?
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Basically working my way up the coastline, mostly via bus.
Did you go for a swim? Did you like coastline as in beach?
Yeah, I did go to the beach, but I didn't go for a swim. I was trying to figure out how to do it and not have all my belongings stolen, and then I realized that they had lockers for hire, but it was too late. I only spent like overnight at this beach, Nha Trang. Cool place though. Reminded me a lot of Surfers Paradise,
Oh,
except it was full of Vietnamese and Russians.
yeah.
A lot of Russians.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of like expats, like expat Russians, people who actually live there full time.
Like many like Russian food places there?
I saw a Uzbek and a Armenian restaurant, so I guess Russian adjacent.
What was like? Did you notice much of a difference? Like, what were some differences you noticed between like the south and the north as you worked your way up?
One of the obvious ones was up north. People are hitting I can't remember the name of the pipe itself, but people are hitting like the backy bongs.
Oh yeah, like a Vietnamese shisha.
Yeah, but it's like literally just a long like bamboo bong, and yeah, every place, like little like the beverage stands you see around everywhere, like there'd be the cart with all the drinks, the little plastic stools, and then there'd always be like the bamboo pipes either hanging up on the cart or like leaning up against a tree near the cart. And yeah, people just like do it so casually. Like I remember walking around and this security guard outside of a bank just like walked over his little plastic stool, sat down, just ripped a backy cone, just like super quick, and then just went up and I really wanted to try it. I was just waiting for someone to like, hey, come over and try this. Let's laugh at this guy, like cough his lungs up.
Yeah, that would be brutal.
It didn't happen. Actually, I did buy the tobacco as like a souvenir, and I rolled a cigarette with it, and it was awful. It was
Really?
awful tobacco.
Like like the quality of the tobacco?
I don't
Just
know.
really strong.
Because I didn't try it while I was over there, so I don't know if there was a difference. It was hella cheap. It was like 5,000 dong for this little. So that's like 30 cents, like less than 30 cents. And yeah, terrible. It tasted kind of like, almost like smoking hair. Like,
Oh,
it
gross.
it was gnarly.
Did you put on weight or did you lose weight?
I think I lost weight.
Yeah, because of the heat, I imagine that you'd just be sweating like crazy.
Yeah, and like I didn't eat much fried food over there. Everything's pretty fresh. Though I drank so much beer.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wasn't sure which way it would go.
I think maybe just like I just stayed the same. Like
Yeah.
if I lost or gained weight, it was like very minimal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an easy trap to fall into over there because the beer's so cheap and it's so hot. You're like, fuck, I just want a cold beer. And then next thing you know, you've had 6, and you're like, oh, a cocktail, it'd be pretty good right about now.
Oh, yeah. You were over there when those people got like alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. So many people were talking about that.
Yeah.
I think I only went to one place.
Was that in a different area? Like, did you go through the like whatever city that sort of happened in?
I want to say that happened in Laos. I can't.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was in Laos.
Is that even further north?
That's like off to the side. I think because Cambodia and then Laos is just below Cambodia, or sort of
okay.
yeah, I only went to like one place in Vietnam where I thought maybe there was like possibility that like I could get alcohol poisoning. And it was just because...
Is that what, when you tasted the drink or just beforehand looking at it?
It was just the prices, because
Yeah.
like all the cocktails on their menu were like less than half the price of every other place I went to. And I didn't really think of it at the time. And then like retrospectively, I'm like, okay, if there was any place...
Yeah, you were just like, wow, that's crazy.
But on that note, shout out to King Pirates Bar in Hanoi. I fucking love that place. Great cheap cocktails and a cute little chihuahua.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Got some. I'll show you the photos. The chihuahua.
Yeah, lots of dogs over there.
Yeah, heaps.
Lots
Yeah.
of cats.
Not many cats.
No.
I don't think they're a big fan of cats.
Yeah.
Over there. But dogs everywhere. Like
Tons.
stray dogs, pet dogs, dogs on scooters. Yeah.
Dogs driving scooters.
Like people just like giving their dogs.
You didn't drive a scooter, did you?
No. I considered it, and then I went on Reddit, and every person on Reddit was like, "Don't do it."
Are wearing helmets?
Most people are. I think you're meant to wear helmets.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people just sort of don't. And in Thailand, actually, like, I think every time I got on the back of a scooter in Thailand, I didn't have a helmet on, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm still here.
Any other like major differences that you noticed going from the south to the north?
Different convenience stores, but like let's city to city as well. Like just different like
The food? Does the food change much?
The food's different.
And was there one that you liked more?
Ooh, the food in Hue is really good.
This way in north, south, middle?
Central.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I love the food in Hue. Like bun bo hue is my favorite like noodle dish from Vietnam. I think it's better than pho, controversially.
What's it called?
Bun bo hue.
Bun bo hue.
Yeah, so it's like bun's like noodle, bo's beef, I think, and then it's from Hue. Yeah, it's just like a really like fragrant, spicy, like beef noodle dish, and like I didn't have it while I was over there, but when I order it here in Sydney, they usually serve it with like pork sausage as well and blood jelly, like a cube of like blood jelly. But over in Vietnam, like it was very bare bones. It was just beef and like the salad you get on the side. That was like one of my favorite things is just like how many dishes you can order in Vietnam and you just get like these fresh herbs and salads with it, like
Condiments and stuff.
It's so good.
What were you having for breakfast?
Some of the hotels I stayed at had free breakfast, and it was literally just like a baguette, like banh mi, and then a fried egg, 2 fried eggs, and then some like cucumber and tomato slices.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, pretty
that's
simple.
Great. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like, put some margarine on the baguette, put the egg in, and then the cucumber and tomato, and then like sriracha sauce and like the seasoning sauce. Yeah, really good. The taste of the breakfast, that kind of breakfast, is like just stuck in my head as well. It's so like comforting and simple. Yeah. Otherwise, like I'd like banh mi or bun kun, which is like the slippery rice noodles they have there. That's a good breakfast. And I did actually have that for breakfast once, and that was the first time I sat on a ridiculously small stool, and the vendor, laughed at me trying to sit down, and I was like, fair enough, I'd laugh too. Yeah, the thing was, like, I just trying to decide what to eat over there was really difficult. My kind of modus operandi was to walk around until I got so hungry I just gave up and went for the first thing.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Or
sometimes I do that here.
Yeah. Yeah, like I know, and it's like the hungrier you get, the more indecisive you get.
Yeah, like I just can't decide, so I just keep saying no, 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 no. And you know what? It almost always ends up being the perfect meal. Like the more you edge yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like edging. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm hungry, but I don't want that. I don't know what I want, but I know it's not that.
Yeah. So I did that a couple of times. The other one I do is walk around until I smelt something really good, and then, and it was almost always like grilled pork. Like someone would be like grilling pork on like some charcoal
Like a
outside
flat
of the
top or
restaurant,
something, yeah.
and I'd just be like, all right. And then the other thing is I'd like look into what the kind of signature dish of that region or that city was, and then at least try that at least once.
Do you have any of those little birds that they eat? The half-formed egg birds? What are they called?
Like quail, I think.
Yeah. I can't remember what the actual name of them is.
Yeah. I went to a place that did that. I got a salad there, and I got like the beef jerky version of that salad. But they did basically the same thing, but it was like one of those birds, like a whole bird, but kind of chopped up into manageable bits.
But was it like in its egg?
Oh! You're talking about like the fertilized eggs.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I didn't try that. I don't think I spied it on any of the menus. Yeah, I mean, not that I can read Vietnamese, but yeah, I don't think.
Did you get better at learning it?
A couple of things I could understand. Like when it came to food, I was like, okay, I know what they're going to serve here.
Balut.
Balut, yeah.
That's what it is.
It's called something different in Vietnam, I'm pretty sure, because that's like the Filipino version
Oh,
of
is it?
Yeah. But yeah, I thought you were talking about like, because they do the little like quails as well. They just like barbecue them whole.
Oh, okay.
You just eat that like bone and all.
Did you have that?
No. I considered it. I was like, I know where to get it. Maybe I'll circle back to this, but yeah.
Did you see a lot of like bugs and stuff like that? Like at any of the markets and things like
I swear I walked past a place that just had like a big like
spiders and cockroaches and all that nasty shit?
Not in Vietnam. There was a place that had what looked like a
Maybe
big
in
bowl
Thailand.
of worms. And I seem to recall a best ever food review episode where he was in Vietnam, and I believe they put the worms into like a kind of like a fritter or something and fry it. And and that was right outside a place that did a dish that I really wanted to have, and I was like, oh, like, you know, two birds, one stone. Like, I'll come back here and like try both of them. And yeah, a couple of days in a row, I walked past it, and that place wasn't there. So I'm like, did I really see a big bowl of bugs?
I heard in one of the best ever food review shows that like the ones in the city in the night markets and stuff like that, he reckons that like they probably don't eat a lot of them. They're really more just for tourists.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely got that vibe like in Thailand because I was staying in Khao San, which is
Whereas I think they do eat them further out in the more rural areas, because he was comparing the taste, and he was saying the ones in the city and stuff actually like just taste like absolute garbage, and that's why he was saying that I don't reckon people eat them. I reckon it's just there for tourists, and tourists are there and they eat them for their stupid videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a good con too. Like, you know, the locals will get a kick out of it. Like, you know, why are you eating that?
Yeah, yeah. You could just eat chicken or pork or beef or whatever.
I didn't go overseas expecting to eat a lot of funky, weird food, but I guess not really.
Yeah, you didn't even have any of that fish paste stuff, that fermented fish paste.
No, I didn't. Yeah, the purple one, right?
Yeah, that would have been everywhere though, hey?
I think I went to one place where I saw it.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't have that as like just one of the condiments.
Yeah, the condiments just changed everywhere. Like, that was a fun kind of thing to see.
I don't know if it's in the Philippines or if it's in Thailand, but I heard that in one of those countries, or maybe it's in Indonesia, they call, is it chili? Is it chili sauce? They call it ketchup. They have like a different name for ketchup. Like ketchup isn't tomato sauce over there. It's
hang on, actually. Let me see if
Let me open the fridge. Or the pantry, actually. We're opening Bray's pantry. We're having a gaze.
Seeing if I had it. I think you're talking about ketchup menace, which is like a sweet soy sauce from Indonesia.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's soy sauce. That's right. Yeah.
It's spelled KECAP. Like the C in that's like a ch sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking...
Because Sonny was like, what do they call tomato sauce? Tomato sauce.
Hot tip. Next time you make mee goreng, make sure you've got a bottle of ketchup menace and just do like a little like kind of not squirt, like what do you call it? A drizzle on top of that. And even better if you can combine it with Kewpie mayo. I know that's probably sacrilegious, but
Kewpie mayo.
Yeah, the like Japanese mayo.
Okay, yeah.
The good shit.
Is that made differently?
Yeah, I think they use more egg yolk in it or something. It does taste a little bit different. It's a bit more richer.
Okay. I should get Eve some of that because Eve loves mayonnaise.
It's like the best mayo.
Wow.
And if you've ever had like mayo,
can you get that in normal? Like, do you have to go to like a Asian IGA?
No, they sell it. They sell it everywhere basically.
Oh, cool.
Usually it's in the like Asian.
Is it called QC mayo?
Kewpie, like the doll.
QP.
Yeah.
Like the doll?
Yeah. Hang on. I'm now going to the fridge.
He's opening the fridge this time. He's getting at the QP mayo. Oh, yeah, that stuff. Then Julian's taking a photo, and that'll be on Instagram. Yeah, all right. And so, do you have... Oh, so where'd you go to the karaoke? Was that in Vietnam?
Karaoke. Did I go to karaoke?
You said that you saw someone doing a cover of... maybe it was Bon Jovi?
Oh, yeah. No, that was...
Was that Thailand?
That was in Thailand, and that was like a cover band in this really run-down, like, country western themed dive bar.
Were they wearing, like, cowboy outfits?
No, they weren't,
okay.
unfortunately.
Hey, partner. How you doing?
Yeah, it was like I love a good dive bar, but that place was like peak dive bar. Like I saw a cockroach just like crawling all over the bottles of spirits behind the bar. Like, you know, the bar was just sticky, like the bar top. But yeah, that cover band, they butchered like some REM and some Police.
What REM song was it? Was it Shiny Happy People?
No. Oh, what was it?
Everybody Hurts.
I think it may have been Losing My... Yeah, it was Losing My Religion. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they... I wish I could remember. So I was kind of amused.
Do you remember what police song it was?
Oh.
Roxanne.
Maybe it was Roxanne. No, Message in a Bottle. It was Message in a Bottle.
Sick.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I am enjoying this. Like, it is kind of funny. Like, it was mostly like the vocalist. Just wasn't all there. But then...
Is that because he was just going for it?
Not really. It's just a bit out of time, out of tune. But, you know, he's also singing in not
A
his
different
native
language.
language.
Yeah,
so,
true.
But yeah, then they then they covered November Rain.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
That was transcendental. Maybe it was like the cocktails I just drank, but they nailed it. Yeah.
Did they do the whole end part as well with the guitar solo?
Yeah, they did it all.
Sick.
Yeah, the guitarists nailed the solo. They had the pianos and everything too. Like, yeah, the whole kit and caboodle.
Where does that expression come from?
I don't know. I just like saying it. Caboodle's a great word.
Yeah, the whole kit and caboodle. I don't know what a caboodle is.
I don't think
The whole kit and caboodle.
we weren't.
Give me your dog as well. I want everything you've got, even your best friend, your most beloved companion. I want all of it. The whole kit and your caboodle.
Those dogs get like stolen all the time. There's like the poodle mixes. Like,
Yeah, and not returned like a laptop.
yeah. Shout out to whoever returned my laptop. Please give me back my t-shirts. I want my t-shirts. You know what? Actually,
What t-shirts were they? Do you know what ones?
yeah. So they took 2 t-shirts I got from Vietnam, and
Oh, wow.
I only noticed the other day like another one was missing, and I'm pissed. Okay, so this shirt was like a bright pink shirt with a print of Ho Chi Minh playing pool on it, and I saw that photo of him playing pool when I went to his mausoleum. There was like a little kiosk there, like a Kodak kiosk, and I had all these photos of him. And one of the photos was him playing pool, and I was like, "That's a cool fucking photo." And then I happened across like a t-shirt store that was just selling all the usual silly souvenir shirts. And I went in to see what else they had, and lo and behold, they had that image on a shirt. But the only one they had in like remotely my size was a pink shirt.
Do you have a photo of the shirt?
Oh, I
Just out of interest?
think so. I definitely got a photo of the photo.
You don't have to get it now if you don't want, but
Yeah,
I'm writing a list of photos that I want from you. One of them is the one of the dog on the scooter, if you've still got that.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a picture of a dog on a stationary scooter. And I want to say the dog had eyebrows as well. That was
Whoa.
That was something I saw more than once. Is people
Dogs with eyebrows?
Yeah, people like draw eyebrows on the dogs.
Oh, okay.
And it's so funny. And yeah, I know it gives them so much expression as well. But yeah, I'm pissed about those shirts. Like, I understand taking like laptops and stuff. You know, there's some resale value, but why the fuck do you want my shirts? They're cool shirts. Like, maybe they've got good taste.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. But if they did, they probably wouldn't be like breaking into houses.
Yeah, I was like,
I mean, I don't want to stereotype burglars, but I feel like normally they don't have good taste.
yeah, you know, black turtlenecks and
Yeah. No one's breaking into a house wearing a white Ho Chi Minh shirt. We saw the perp. He's wearing a bright pink shirt with Ho Chi Minh playing pool on it.
I was right about that dog, by the way.
But everyone's wearing that. Oh my goodness. They're giving them eyebrows. That's crazy.
yeah, and it was several.
Do you think they're just waiting there for their owners to get back so they can go for the ride?
Yeah, probably. And yeah, you'd like see like people pull up on a scooter and then like, you know, tap their leg and the dog would just like hop up in the little footwell, like just second nature. Very, very cool.
So what was your favorite thing that you ate in Vietnam?
Oh, so the fried fish I had in Dalat, I think I showed you a picture of it. It where it was just whole fried fish, just stuffed with like lemongrass and spices with this like really citrusy fish sauce. That was like tears in my eye every time I took a bite. It was beautiful, just like perfect texture, taste, everything.
Were you tempted to go back to eat the same dish again, like because it was that good?
I did
anywhere?
that. I did that once.
Yeah, like, it was just like because obviously one of the reasons you go traveling is to try all the different food for sure, no matter where you are. Like you'd be tempted to like try something. It's like, oh, I'm never going to try this again unless I get to try it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't exactly the same dish, but there was a place in Hanoi that did banh cuon, which is like one of my favorite dishes from Vietnam, the slippery rice noodles. And I went there, had some friends who were over in Vietnam at the same time as me, and we all went to Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum together, and then we left and we're hungry, and I was just like Googling to see if there's anywhere that did this dish, and there was. We walked there, and it didn't look like they were open. It looked like they were kind of closing up. We weren't sure what was going on, but they just pulled out a table and some chairs for us, and it was kind of like there was this big like high rise on the other side of the street. It looked kind of like it's like a financial sort of district, but then there was this like place that just did banh cuon there, and got that, and it was fantastic. I think it was like the grilled pork one they do, and then a couple of days later, I was in the same area, and I'm like, yeah, I could go for that again. Yeah, they do a version of it with like kind of like sausage. Yeah, like a cinnamon sort of spice sausage. Yeah, fuck, it's good.
Was there anything that you didn't like in Vietnam? Like, was there anything we just went, oh, that's disgusting. I'm going to get something. I'm ordering something else. Nah, I can't eat that.
No, not really. There was like one thing I had that was unusual, and it was like grilled pork with. I think I told you about this before. Right, I'll find the name, but the leaves are called like fart leaves because they have a
stink. Oh my god, that's so funny. It shows the level of my humor.
Yeah, they smell very strange, like a fart. And so basically it was grilled pork, and then you like wrap it up in these leaves, and then you dip the whole thing into fish sauce.
Yeah.
Except the fish sauce was like a really thick, like super fermented, like.
But not like that purple one.
No, it was like brown. I think it's like the whole sardine or whatever's left to ferment, and it's super funky. Like the leaf and that, and just like all the separate, apart from the pork, like the leaf and the fish sauce, you're like, oh, okay, it's pretty pungent. But together it all just sort of worked. Like, it wasn't like a fuck that's delicious, but it was like a, you know what, I'm drinking beers, I have like a spread of food, like this is pretty good to eat. But otherwise, no, like everything I had was pretty pleasant. Yeah.
Fart sauce. And like, was the weather like pretty much the same from north to south?
Yeah,
South
it
to
was a lot more pleasant in the north.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot more temperate. And then Dalat, which is in the south, but it's in the sort of highlands. The weather there was like, they call it like the city of eternal spring because it's basically like got the same sort of temperature year round. And it's pretty much spring weather. It gets like, 30 degrees is as hot as we'll get during the day. But
how warm was it at night?
It was cold. It would get to
8
degrees, like around that. Yeah, not super cold. Like I'd have an overshirt on, but yeah.
Where's your favourite Vietnamese restaurant in Sydney?
Oh, so there's one in Marrickville, and they do banh cuon there. I can't remember the actual name of it, but like, it's hard to miss this place because there's always a line a fucking mile long out the door. It's on Illawarra Road, about maybe 100, 200 meters from the train station in Marrickville, heading towards Marrickville Road. But they've just opened one up in Campsie, the next suburb over from me. And that place is busy, but not as busy. And
Do you know what it's called?
it's the same like franchise, I guess.
Oh, so it is a franchise.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, there's a movie called Jacob's Ladder. Is that biblical?
Yeah, kinda.
I'm looking at Bray's VHS collection.
It's got Jason Alexander in it, that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he's still got hair.
Is he the main character?
Nah, he's like a scumbag lawyer.
Oh, good.
But yeah, this is the spot.
Oh, Bun Kun Bao Aun. Yeah, all right, cool. Oh, wow, that was good.
Oh, I love this shit.
Oh, we'll have to go sometime.
Yeah, I'd love for you to try it. And when you go up to order, they have like a kind of like a cabinet, like a refrigerated cabinet at the front, and it's just got all the different like preserved meats on display. And yeah, you just look at that and you're like I am very excited to eat all of this.
Anything else you want to say about Vietnam?
I recommend it to anyone who hasn't been there and wants to go overseas. I'd say go there and you'll have a blast.
Was there much of a difference in terms of like from Vietnam to Thailand in terms of like you think the price of things, the price of food, accommodation?
Thailand's
and
a bit more expensive.
Yeah?
But not overwhelmingly so. I'd say the accommodation is like the most noticeable price difference there.
Yeah. You're like doubling the price, or
Yeah, or I don't know. Like I would say it's more expensive. That being said, I didn't stay at any hostels or anything. I was staying in private accommodations.
did you have street food the whole time, or did you like fork out a bit? Was there a time where you like went and ate at like a really nice restaurant just to compare the food and stuff?
No,
Is that
not
interesting?
any nice restaurants. I definitely went to like one or two restaurants that did like Vietnamese food, but they're more catered towards like foreigners. Like, you know, menus are in English and they kind of dumb down the dishes a little for you.
Yeah. Oh, anything you couldn't eat because of the spice in Vietnam? Anything like crazy hot?
Nah, I'm fine with spice.
Yeah. Was there anything crazy hot?
Not in Vietnam. In Thailand, there are a few things that I ate, and again, I'm fine with spice. It was just the aftermath.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a thing in Thailand. Whenever I ordered something and they were like, "Oh, it's spicy. Are you sure?" I'm like, okay, I'm excited to eat this. Like, and because I've heard a lot of people say that about Thailand, like, you know, it'll humble you with the spice level, especially if like you order it Thai spicy. But yeah, even then, like, it was manageable. I wouldn't tap out. Yeah, Vietnam, like, it's more so like you can put the chilies on top of things if you want. It's like a condiment.
Yeah.
It's not sort of inherently in the food.
I recently, at the end of last year, started pickling things. Yeah, and so I've been having a lot of like pickled things lately. And like last night, I was having like cheese and crackers and just putting pickled stuff on top. And I was like having this like pickled chili, and oh my god, it was so hot. I thought it would be more pickled than it was, because like a lot of the other stuff was really pickled. But I don't think the chili did much in the few weeks that I put it in there. And holy god, I was running around the house. It was so damn hot. I think the seeds are supposed to be the hot part.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you deseed it, it's still hot, but it's a little less.
No, I didn't do that. I just went for it. Yeah. So like, how was Vietnam by comparison?
Comparison, like, spice-wise?
Did I say Vietnam? I meant Thailand.
Thailand?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Talking spice? Or?
Yeah, and just generally, like your travels and thoughts and weather and such.
The most noticeable difference is, so in Vietnam, the honking is constant. Like,
Oh, really?
it's just like,
Even at night?
yeah, it's just like wherever there's traffic, there's honking. And,
More scooters in Vietnam or Thailand, or both? Just the same?
I'd say more in Vietnam. Like, more, there were definitely more cars
Does
in
it
Thailand.
surprise you that we don't have more scooters here, given how many are over there?
No.
There's a god awful amount of cars.
Yeah, I think it's because we like model ourselves so much after America.
Yeah.
And we've got different like road safety sort of standards, and it makes a lot more sense to have scooters and bicycles.
Did you
and
feel
stuff.
unsafe at all?
No.
Like when you were on any of the scooters and
No,
stuff?
I very quickly like realized that like these people have been driving like this for their whole life, and I was very happy to put my life in their hands. Like there are a few moments where I was on the back and I was like, oh, this is kind of sketchy. Like, if they mounted a footpath to get around traffic, or like when you're on a roundabout and your knee is just like a couple of centimeters away from a bus, like it's, but I just have a big fucking goofy grin on my face. I'm like, well, if I die, like,
I died doing something I love.
yeah,
Exploring a foreign country.
yeah. But yeah, back to the honking. So the honking is constant in Vietnam, and like everyone just, if you like,
Does it just become like one note, like a drone note in the background?
yeah, sort of.
It's a symphony.
And yeah, it's like, if you want to overtake someone, you honk. If someone pisses you off, you honk. If like,
You want to say thank you for letting me in, you honk.
yeah, basically like it's just,
See a dog driving a scooter, you honk.
yeah. And then Thailand, it's just like, I don't think I heard a single honk at all.
Oh, really?
And I talked to like some Thai people, and they're like, yeah, we're a lot more polite here. And yeah, the traffic in Thailand was crazy too, but it was like a different sort of crazy. It was just like gridlocked. Keep in mind, I only was in Bangkok, so I only saw like, I guess, the big city side of their traffic. But yeah, crazy. The roads are like super wide, but it's still just like very dense traffic.
Yeah. Any phrases that you remember that you just like used a lot?
No, because like I got by with English pretty well.
Oh, cool.
Especially in Thailand. Vietnam was like you could get away with like pointing at things, and like if you asked how much something was, they'd always have a calculator and type it in for you. And then yeah, all the people trying to scam you speak English. They know all the phrases, so yeah. It's
They learn enough English to be able to scam you.
yeah, pretty much, and they all say the same things, and like it's basically as soon as someone came like up to me unprompted and started talking in
It's
English,
a scam.
yeah, like or they're trying to like sell you something, and it's going to be a lot more expensive than you really should pay. But that's all part of the fun. Got to earn a living. Why not milk a dumb fucking white boy?
Favorite food in Thailand that you ate? And was there a least favorite as well?
I think everything apart from the fucking Burger King burger I had at the airport.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to ask. Is like if you went to a Macca's or any kind of fast food in either place.
I walked into a Macca's in Hanoi. I had a look at the menu, but the damn kiosk wouldn't take my card. So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. I'm going to get some real food.
Yeah.
But yeah, rice on the menu there. They had like a Korean fried chicken range going. I did have like so there's Lotteria around everywhere, which is like a Korean fast food chain. I had that, and that was fantastic. Like that was like
Lotteria.
yeah, like a big Korean company called Lotte. Like they do like the Pocky sticks, like drinks, like they. I can't remember the name of those Korean companies, but there's like 4 or 5 that are just like control the whole country, and that's one of them. But yeah, they have like a fast food chain, and goddamn, that fried chicken there. A, it's cheap, and B, it's like just high quality, crispy, juicy. I got like the is it buldak, the like super spicy Korean noodles. I got like the sauce. The buldak sauce on my chicken, and pretty bloody spicy, but very nice. But Thailand, I went to this like cart that did like a pick 3 things and have it with rice, and I guess that meal as a whole was my favorite. I had like a fried fish in like a sweet chili sauce. I had this like hard-boiled egg in a tamarind kind of curry, and then like I think it was larb, like chicken mince in spices, and yeah, the guy warned me against it. He said, "Oh, it's spicy. Like, get this one." And I'm like, "No, I'll get that one. It looks good." And it was spicy, but it was fucking delicious. Of course, I don't know the name of any of those dishes, but yeah, like that was probably my favorite meal.
Did you have a bad time after any meals?
Not immediately after. That day that I had that meal.
I heard Sonny joke that like he just has constant diarrhea. Like I don't know if that's true. He was just making a joke, but like it was just something that he said because he's always trying crazy shit, and apparently people ask him about it a lot.
Yeah, I imagine like surely he would have built up a tolerance after all these years. Like he's gonna have some kind of like
Iron gut.
Yeah. Yeah, the day that I had that dish I was just talking about, I also had pork larb, which is like similar to the chicken thing I had with that dish, but it was pork and a lot spicier.
What's larb?
It's like a salad, kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like a really
that's the salad.
vinegary.
That's the salad part of it.
Yeah. So I had this, and when I ordered it, I thought it was like the version of larb where they use like raw meat. And I saw it on the menu, and I was like, "Oh, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try this." It was like the cooked pork version, still delicious, but like they warned me it was spicy, and by the end of that, I was like, tears and snot coming out. But I was fine. I went to bed that night, and then probably I'm gonna say around 4 or 5 in the morning, I woke up and I'm like, oh my god, like it doesn't feel right, like just like a rumbling in my stomach, and yeah, it was bad. It hurt, but it hurt so good.
Oh, like a food like a food sadomasochism. Masochism. That's
Yeah.
the word.
That's what like spicy food is. Like I enjoy the pain at this point. Because it just kind of augments the rest
I
of the
enjoy the
experience.
pain of it going in. I enjoy the pain of it coming out.
I don't
I am
like
a straw for pain.
I don't like the going out part. That's like I could do without that, but yeah. But
It's a necessary evil.
it's only ever happened to me 2 times where I've had spicy food and then I've woken up at some point early in the morning and I'm like, I need to shit. Like I'm in pain and I need to shit. So I'm pretty lucky in that aspect. Like,
Best thing that you had? Or did you already cover that?
yeah,
That was the chicken.
yeah.
Yes, sick.
Though honorable mention to the pork mince omelets. It's like having those for breakfast, and it's basically like just a big egg omelet with like pork mince in it, like served over rice, and you just squirt some chili sauce on top of it, and yeah, it's so good. It's just the texture of it's a little bit crispy, and then the egg's nice and fluffy inside.
Big difference between that wasn't what I wanted to say, but we'll say spices. They spice things in Vietnam.
Yeah,
Or is everything, it seems like maybe it's a little bit more fresh because you are adding all the condiments and
Like
stuff.
when it comes to like the soups and stuff, it's like Far's got like
I had pho for the first time the other day, and the soup was absolutely delicious.
yeah, it's
It's way more delicious without me adding because I put some in the bowl, but there was stuff left over, and because I was adding chili and chili sauce and stuff like that to the bowl, but it was way nicer, just clean and fresh. It was just amazing.
That's the good thing. Like the fun thing with as far as just like trying the broth before you put any of the condiments in it.
Yeah, it doesn't. But I mean, the one I had the other day doesn't need it. I don't know if they're all like that, but
But yeah, there's like I swear I saw a video the other day and someone said that there's like 96 different spices in. Maybe I'm like misquoting that, but I was like, it can't be that high. But there's like
surely not.
definitely double digits. There's a lot going on, like a pho. Yeah, I guess like Thailand's big on like
Peanut.
yeah, peanut in Vietnam as well.
Okay.
Like shallots, like the
Yeah, I know. Sure. Yeah.
yeah, the ones that are in that bowl over there, and like galangal and lemongrass and all that.
What about the weather between the two places?
The weather in Thailand was basically the same as like when I was in Ho Chi Minh City, just humid,
Yeah.
hot and humid, like oppressive.
And like you said, you drank a lot of beer. Do they have cider over there? Is that like they drink cider?
Oh, I definitely saw some. I think Strongbow like was like on most of the menus. But yeah, each sort of region has their own like local domestic beer.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's not like here where we've got kind of like maybe 5 big sort of domestic beers. It was just like one major one and then a couple of like craft breweries. Yeah, the craft beer in Vietnam, by the way, is amazing. Yeah,
Is that like the locally made ones, the
Yeah.
craft ones? Yeah.
and it's like interesting things. Like I had like a rice pandan lager, which was very, very good. I love pandan; such a nice flavor. That and coconut, it's a good combo. Yeah, did drink a lot of beer because the domestic stuff is just hella cheap, and you can just walk into a 7-Eleven or a Circle K or a Winmart or whatever, and it's just right there.
I lost my train of thought. Have you read those Isaac Asimov books?
No, I was chatting to my housemate's friend about this last night. He was over. I've only read iRobot, a bit of iRobot.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So one day I'll get around to it, and the rest of the books on that shelf.
Yeah, that was another interesting thing about this morning or this afternoon or the start of our hangout. It was like just holding an actual videotape in my hands. Like I hadn't done that in forever.
Yeah, there's something special about physical media, like whether it's a book or a record or a CD or even like a video game. Like it's just it doesn't feel as complete when you like watch something on Netflix. Like sure, you're watching the movie and it's convenient, but like you're losing part of the whole ritual.
I wonder if the videotape that we watched was actually made in like the early 80s, because I was surprised that there was no trailers.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have older tapes than that have trailers. Maybe it's like a premium tape. It's like people don't want to like sit through advertising.
I wonder if you said that like you went to an op shop and they had like movies for like $35, like videotape. That's crazy.
Yeah, and like it's weird because it's like a Vinnies, but like I guess nowadays Vinnies and Salvos are kind of cottoning onto like the fact they can mark up certain items. But yeah, fuck me dead. If you ever go to like an antique shop or a second-hand shop, yeah, their tapes are always like super expensive. So don't really bother.
Yeah. Any other plans in terms of traveling? You got your eyes on the next destination?
No solid plans as of yet. There's like a lot of places I want to go. I would love to go back to Thailand and Vietnam.
Are they your favorite foods?
No, I don't know. I don't. It's hard. It's hard for me to say my favorite food. I really like Chinese food, like Szechuan, particularly. Vietnamese
You gonna go
is
see
definitely
Big
up
John?
there. I'm kind of tempted to actually. Yeah. Yeah, I guess his favorite Chinese food and mine are vastly different, but you know, I do still occasionally fuck with like shitty suburban Chinese takeaway.
Oh, it's amazing, actually. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. It's one of my favorite things to eat, actually.
It's like, oh, if you put sugar and MSG in something, it's delicious. Who would have thought? Like, yeah, it does hit the spot. But yeah, I know. I also like spicy fuck off Chinese food. Like, it's so good. And yeah, I guess I didn't really think of Thai food being up in my favorite foods. Like, you get Thai food all the time here, but it's, you know, it's good, but it's like wasn't up there. But actually having like
Proper Thai food.
yeah, I was like, oh fuck, like Yeah.
Did it taste different in terms of like how they spice it?
A little bit, yeah. I guess it was just more. The flavors were more intense and like, yeah, it was right there rather than like, so it's more subtle in the dishes here. I guess they sort of tame it down for Whitey.
So you did see a photo of Chad Kroger.
Yes, I did. Yeah, gracing the bar in Boivien.
And you went to a Mr. Bean restaurant. Was it a cocktail bar?
Yeah. I went there I mean, they were open, but not really. But I went there to see it, and
it had nothing to do with Mr. Bean.
No, it was like full of like Mr. Bean photos and stuff,
yeah,
and then
sick.
like people writing the walls as well, because it's like I heard that it's like a
Shrine.
No, it's just all the backpackers go there, all the horny backpackers. It's like I was like I don't really want to like mingle.
No. Do they have their own like traditional? I'll go with that word, like alcohol, like a spirit. Like how the Russians have vodka.
It's I don't know the name for it, but like rice wine.
Oh, okay.
And I was lucky enough to try some homemade stuff. I was in Hue, and I went. So, backtrack a little bit here. When I was in Ho Chi Minh City, first day there, fella on a scooter pulled up beside me. He's like, "Where are you from? How long you been here? Blah blah blah." And then he's like, "Oh, come get a coffee with me. Like, hop on the back of the scooter." I did. And long story short, he was like a tour guide, and I agreed to like go around the city with him that day.
Was this just out of the airport or something? Like,
No, this is like my first. Like, I got there the previous night, managed to get to sleep.
I wonder how he picked you out. Is this just his job's just to pick out tourists?
Yeah, well,
something?
like I was staying near Boi Vien, which is like a big tourist hotspot, and
Yeah.
they can definitely tell. Like, I'm like,
Because you're wide-eyed and like, oh.
yeah, and I've got no idea where I'm going. I was maybe it was like the iced coffee I had in my hand as well. It was like, look at this fucking chump. Like, yeah. So he like took me around Ho Chi Minh City, showed me some cool stuff. I got to go to the Chinatown in Ho Chi Minh City, which was like so fucking cool.
Sick.
And it's huge. And yeah, and then agreed to go. He's the one who took me to Monkey Island as well. So I was like on like 2 days from now. And yeah, he charged me 5 million dong, which is
a lot of dong.
a fucking lot of dong. He's like, yeah, that's for both days.
Nah, how much is it though?
$100?
$100?
No, way more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he charged me that, and then he was like, "That's all. Like, that'll cover you for both the days." Second day, went along with him, and then he was dropping me home, and he's like, "Oh, before I drop you back at your like hotel, I'll just stop off the ATM." And I'm like, "Oh, why?" And he's like, "Oh, people pay me tips," and then he charged me like another 3 million dong. So, in total,
8 million dong.
$513.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's where when I was like, okay, this is like a thing that goes on, like, and it kept happening to me. I was walking around and people pull up on a scooter and they'd have the little testimonial book, and I'm like,
Oh, they have a little book.
yeah.
Do you get to keep the book?
No, it's like they like put like little photos in it, and like they get all the like people who've been on the tours to write stuff. So jumping forward to Hue, I was wary of this, and then
Do you feel like you got conned?
a little bit. It was like a soft con. Like, yeah, I still went on a tour and saw some.
Soft con. Yeah.
Yeah, like I did some cool things. But
And you got to try rice wine, homemade.
yeah.
I mean, that is cool that he like.
Well,
that's
that's
let you into his home.
not that time, but when I was in Hue, I was wary of this, and I was ignoring all the advances from people trying to get me to go on a motorbike or a scooter or whatever. Then this one guy started talking shit about the government to me
Sick.
and telling me his story, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then he was a guide, and I'm like, you know what? I like don't really have any other way of going outside of the city center. So
This one guy started talking shit about the government.
it was really refreshing. I'm like, all right, I like want to hear his like perspective.
Like, did he just come up to you and start talking shit about the government, or?
Like I was like walking, he was just like on the corner hanging out with his scooter, and then yeah, it was the same thing. I went like hopped on the back of the scooter and went and got a coffee with him, and he was just talking about all the corruption and like the Vietnamese government. Vui was his name. Vui. Shout out to Vui.
Okay, so that's how you feel him out. You go and get a coffee with him.
Yeah.
Feel the vibe before you hand over 10 billion dong.
And you find out where he's going to take you, and you ask how much it's going to cost, and you agree on a price. But yeah, I had a great time going on the tour with him. Like I think it was a day or two after that. I was really hungover when I ran into him, and I was like, he was trying to get me to go on a tour, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm suffering right now. But yeah, like on that tour, we went back to his house for lunch. And his wife and son were there. His wife cooked us up some noodles, and the noodles had like little sausages in them. And one of them was like a purple color, like a purpley reddy sort of color. I was like, oh, that looks like liver. And it was liver, and it was liver from chickens like he'd raised and slaughtered and stuff. So that was cool. But yeah, he had rice wine there.
You just have him out the back.
Yeah. He had like some homemade rice wine, like like we talked about it previously, and then he kind of like went behind the shrine in the entrance room and came out with this like big like I don't know 50, 60 centimeter tall jar with rice wine, and it's delicious. Like it's strong, but it's very drinkable too. And yeah, it was fantastic just hanging out with this Vietnamese dude in his like sitting room, like drinking rice wine, smoking cigarettes.
That's cool.
And yeah, his like little his table had like a glass top on it, and underneath there was just currency from all around the world, and like photos of like his other children and like I guess like people he'd met from his tour guides. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's amazing. In your time traveling in these foreign countries, did you have what was the experience of like Western pop culture? Like, did you hear any, like hear any like pop music playing out of the, like the stereos of cars, or like, I think of like Taylor Swift probably being one of the most famous people on earth right now. Like, was there an awareness of her in terms of like, I don't know, like just Western popular culture, its influence on those foreign countries, or whether it was just non-existent?
I didn't really hear it like, like from individuals. But yeah, the one club I went to in Hanoi was just playing really obnoxious like Western pop music. And then
like old Western pop. Or like current stuff?
Oh, like current, semi-current, like from the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And then, most of the other bars that were playing Western music, it was like 80s, 70s, like rock, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I can't think of anyone like actually listening to, like hearing anyone listen to it like through the stereo or whatever.
And what about in the way of like traditional music from that country? Was there much in the way of music?
I saw a couple like street performers playing, and then like you'd walk through the alleyways, like the residential sort of areas in the back of cities, and you get the occasional person like an old folk just sitting in their living room, like door open to the alleyway, just like with their phone out doing karaoke. And singing like older, I guess, like pop songs, like Vietnamese pop songs. Yeah, God, I love seeing that. It's like such a vibe.
They're just singing with their phone out.
Yeah, and like just on their own too, like full on like microphone and like karaoke app or whatever. Like projecting their voice, but yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it was like really charming. I really enjoyed walking through the like alleyways and stuff, and just sort of seeing like family life and home life is like in that sort of area.
And you felt safe? Did you feel safe? Was there any times you didn't feel safe when you were there?
No, not really. Yeah, I guess I didn't I was staying in pretty touristy areas most of the time. Like occasionally, in Dalat, there was one day where I walked into somewhere where I was like, "Oh, this is I doubt any tourists ever come to this part of town." But it was fine. It was just scooter repair shops and yeah. But yeah, I never felt unsafe.
Oh, that's good. You know, it was really funny. Like the T-shirt you got me, the Homer Simpson
Oh yeah,
T-shirt. I was wearing it. The first time I was wearing it, I hadn't washed it. And so I was leaning up against the white painted wall of my bedroom, just lying in there. And the next morning I woke up, I'm like, what the hell? What is this blue stuff on my wall? Oh my God, it's not coming off. What the? Oh no, it's the shirt. I knew I should have washed it.
Oh man.
Oh man. And I was I had to get sandpaper and all the, I scrubbed that mother.
Damn.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It's a powerful ink.
It
on that
really,
shirt.
really was, bro. It was crazy. If I scrubbed it down to the point where the paint was about to come off, but not quite. I did a really good job, actually. Very, very proud of myself.
Nice. Love a DIY project.
Yeah. The fabric was really thick, though, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for what I imagine would be such a hot climate, I'm surprised that they wouldn't use a way lighter sort of fabric for their T-shirts and stuff.
Man, the outfits I'd see people wearing, I would be sweating my ass off in shorts and a shirt, and you just see someone rocking a full blown hoodie, jacket, jeans combo. I'm how do you do that?
Do you reckon they don't sweat because they're used to it, or
I guess so.
they just don't care about the sweating?
They're probably acclimatized to it. But yeah, it's just wild. Sweating the most I've ever sweated in my life, and there's just someone who's just fully rugged up. Yeah, doing it for the fashion points, I guess. So respect. Couldn't beat me though.
No. All right, man. I reckon it's time to go and get a kebab.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
don't
good.
know about you, but I'm ready to eat. Thanks for having me come around and having a chat and watching a Sean Connery movie from the early 80s. And yeah, we'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
At least definitely the movie, watching part of it. And then when it's time to do a podcast, we'll do that too.
Alrighty.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Peace out.
Bye.